At 4:47 a.m., the Persian Gulf was silent. No moon, no wind, no warning. In the narrow waters of the Strait of Hormuz, 6 points of fire erupted from the Iranian coastline almost simultaneously. There was no declaration, no radio traffic, no diplomatic signal, just raw acceleration. 6 hypersonic ballistic missiles surged upward, ripping through the night at speeds approaching Mach 13. Within seconds, they disappeared from radar horizons, arcing into space before turning back toward Earth with violent intent. Their target was not a city, not a base, not an oil terminal. Their target was the USS Abraham Lincoln. 6 maneuverable warheads, each carrying 400 kilograms of high explosives, each traveling faster than 13,000 miles per hour, each aimed directly at the most heavily defended warship on the planet. Iranian planners believed speed was enough. They believed hypersonic velocity meant immunity. They believed surprise would overwhelm American defenses. What they didn't understand was that they weren't attacking a ship. They were attacking a system. The Strait of Hormuz is not just water. It is a pressure point. 21 nautical miles wide at its narrowest, it carries nearly 20% of the world's oil every single day. Every tanker that passes through it represents leverage, money, and geopolitical gravity. Iran has spent 4 decades turning this stretch of water into a fortress. Coastal missile batteries, naval mines, fast attack boats, submarines, drones. And now, their newest weapon, the Fatah-1 hypersonic ballistic missile, unveiled in mid-2023, declared operational in late 2024, designed specifically to defeat American carrier defenses. The missile used a 2-stage solid fuel booster and a maneuverable re-entry vehicle capable of altering its trajectory during descent. A movable nozzle allowed the warhead to jink left, right, up, and down, complicating interception in the terminal phase. Western analysts questioned Iran's claims, but the physics were undeniable. At those speeds, even small adjustments could disrupt defensive calculations. And now, 6 of them were screaming toward a $13 billion aircraft carrier. What Iran didn't know was that the attack had already failed. 11 seconds after ignition, the launches were detected by space-based infrared sensors. Satellites tracking heat signatures in real time fed data into a global command network that never sleeps. By the time the missiles reached the upper atmosphere, their trajectories were mapped, their velocities measured, and their impact windows calculated down to the second. Inside the USS Abraham Lincoln's Combat Information Center, the lighting shifted to dim blue. Consoles flickered to life, operators locked into place. No panic, no shouting, only precision. The strike group's primary radar system painted all 6 targets at over 180 nautical miles. These weren't vague blips. They were fully resolved 3-dimensional tracks differentiated from booster debris, decoys, and atmospheric clutter. Every ship in the strike group saw the same picture. Every system was synchronized. Every response was automated. The tactical action officer spoke once. 6 inbound ballistic contacts, bearing 042. Speed Mach 13, time to impact 4 minutes, 20 seconds, weapons free. At 4:49 a.m., the first layer of defense activated. A destroyer positioned forward of the carrier rotated slightly, exposing its vertical launch cells. Inside, interceptor missiles had already been assigned targets. The Standard Missile 6 was not built for ceremony. It was built for moments exactly like this. Each interceptor launched using inertial navigation, requiring no external signals, no GPS, no data links that could be jammed, just internal gyroscopes, raw mathematics, and constant updates from shipboard radar. At 4:49 and 37 seconds, the first interceptor erupted from its cell. 12 more followed in rapid succession. They didn't all aim for direct impact. That wasn't the goal. The objective was disruption, forcing the incoming warheads to maneuver, bleeding energy, breaking guidance solutions. Every evasive move a hypersonic missile makes costs it speed, costs it stability, costs it precision. And while the interceptors surged upward, the real counterstrike was already underway. On the carrier's flight deck, 4 F-35C fighters sat ready, engines warm, pilots strapped in. The electromagnetic catapult system powered up, its linear motors humming beneath the deck. The first jet locked into position. Final checks. Green light. The fighter launched off the bow, accelerating from 0 to flight speed in under 2 seconds, climbing aggressively into the darkness. 3 more followed at 15-second intervals. Their mission was not air combat. Their mission was not defense. Their mission was elimination. They were going after the launchers. Each fighter carried advanced air-to-air missiles and short-range heat seekers. Stealth mattered less tonight. Speed, reach, and lethality mattered more. As they climbed, their sensors began stitching together the battlefield. Radar data, infrared signatures, electronic emissions, everything fused into a single coherent picture. They saw Iranian air defense systems powering up. They saw fast attack boats scrambling. And they saw 3 mobile missile launchers still near their firing positions, glowing hot against the cooler terrain. Meanwhile, 90 seconds remained before impact. The first hypersonic warhead attempted to evade. Its nozzle vectored thrust, pushing the warhead laterally at extreme speed, 200 meters off course. A violent maneuver. It wasn't enough. An interceptor detonated nearby, spraying thousands of tungsten fragments through the warhead's control surfaces. The missile lost stability instantly and fell into the Gulf, striking the water without detonating. The second and third warheads met similar ends, intercepted, shredded, neutralized, but the fourth missile adapted faster. It executed an aggressive descent profile, diving steeply while jinking laterally. By the time interceptors adjusted, it was inside their engagement envelope. Too close. Too fast. The final interceptor missed by 80 meters. That was enough to trigger the last line of defense. At 6 miles out, a point defense system locked on automatically. No human input, no delay. A rolling airframe missile launched. 12 seconds later, it met the incoming warhead. The detonation occurred less than 3,000 feet above the carrier. The explosion lit the sky like a second sunrise. Fragments rained down across the deck. Shock waves rattled steel. 3 sailors were injured by shrapnel. The flight deck remained intact. The carrier never changed course. Operations continued uninterrupted. The 5th and 6th missiles were intercepted farther out. Clean kills. No debris near the ship. From launch to final splashdown, the entire engagement lasted 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Iran's strike was over. America's was not. At 4:53 a.m., the 4 fighters crossed the Iranian coastline. Radar systems detected anomalies, ghosts, conflicting signatures, jamming artifacts. Operators struggled to form a firing solution. Surface-to-air missiles launched anyway. They chased nothing. By the time Iranian crews realized the aircraft weren't where their radars indicated, it was too late. 12 missiles dropped from internal bays and streaked toward their targets at 4 times the speed of sound. Mobile launchers are not buildings. They are trucks. Trucks filled with fuel, hydraulics, and live missiles. The first impact occurred just as the crew understood what was happening. The missile detonated against the launcher's hydraulic system. Secondary explosions followed instantly. The remaining missile onboard ignited. The blast crater was visible from orbit. The second and third launchers were destroyed within seconds. The fighters never descended below 15,000 feet, never entered visual range, never exposed themselves to short-range defenses. They turned back toward the carrier before Iranian interceptors could even scramble. At 4:58 a.m., the sun rose over the Strait of Hormuz. 6 hypersonic missiles destroyed, 3 launchers annihilated, 1 near miss, 0 operational damage. The carrier resumed routine operations. From a financial perspective, the exchange looked uneven. The United States spent more than it lost, but war is not accounting. The message was clear. Hypersonic does not mean unstoppable. Speed does not equal victory. And attacking a carrier strike group without overwhelming force guarantees failure. The strait remained open. Shipping continued. Oil flowed. No crisis. No spike in prices. No escalation. Just 6 missiles turned into scrap metal and 3 smoking craters on the coast. This is modern deterrence. Not speeches, not warnings, but systems that work faster than human reaction time. Defenses layered so deeply that even cutting-edge weapons become expensive mistakes. Iran came to the Strait of Hormuz seeking proof. What they proved was something else entirely. Some lessons are taught slowly, others arrive at Mach 13. If you found this analysis valuable, subscribe and share. More breakdowns of modern military reality are coming.